But for now, it's time for BJ's Best.
Well, thank you, Drew. So I've got a couple of quick hitters I want to mention here in BJ's Best today. I'm going to start things off with. I know we talked about it. I think a couple weeks back when we last had our personal segments, Drew.
Mhm.
You've been keeping up with those lotteries drawings.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, actually, that's funny. I had some coworkers ask me if I wanted to get in on it, and I was like, nah, I'm
I
good.
was to say, I was going to ask you if you were.
I was not, no.
I am somebody that normally does not get involved
Oh,
when
you got in there, BJ?
so I'm normally somebody that doesn't, but when we get to numbers like this,
Right.
it's tough
I
for
think I've
you
heard
to
that before.
not want to get involved. So
Right.
I haven't bought tickets for tomorrow's drawing yet, but I am planning on it. That's going to be something. But either after I get done at the office tomorrow or after the show tonight, that I will be taking on. So I wanted to just to mention the really the odds of it because it's fascinating to me. You talk about the Mega Millions. Now the jackpot has soared over $1 billion with a B dollars, $1.25 billion now, and this is from the Associated Press. It says the chances of winning the lottery are extremely slim. You
Mm-hmm.
think? You think?
Yeah.
Really? Really? You think? So it says the this is one of the largest lottery drawings in history. But if you are the winner, you would have to beat some pretty extraordinary odds. One winner in 302.6 million. So you've got a 1 in 302.6 million odds to be the jackpot winner. Even if you were just a top prize winner, if you didn't win the jackpot, but potentially almost 100 million if you don't win the jackpot, but you're one of the top prizes, which I mean, that's nothing to sniff at, Drew. If you don't win the jackpot, but you get that kind of money,
Yeah.
like holy cow, um, the odds of winning that, well, this is actually the Powerball, which was almost at estimated at 95 million for the drawing that happened yesterday. Nobody won that. Nearly 1 in 292.2 million. So that is pretty extraordinary. They have adjusted that in the past couple of years. I can't remember what the numbers used to be,
Mm.
but they have adjusted it. So we're seeing bigger lottery pools and more of these big time jackpots because it's tougher to win these games now, Drew. I think they changed them here in the past decade or so in order to have a greater chance of the lottery, of course, making more money in the process. But when they do have to pay out, it is usually a bigger payout, a bigger prize for the winner. That you don't see it normally. It used to be back a few years ago. It would be if it got north of 500 million, that was pretty rare. It never really climbed up that high, and then all of a sudden, once they changed the odds, we've seen billion this, billion that in for both Powerball and Mega Millions, and it feels like it's becoming almost a once a year type of deal that the number gets up this high.
They did the stuff so they could make more money off of it
Of
because they
course, of course,
cashing out. I saw that you only after what did you say the one was 1 point something
one
billion,
point
right?
two five billion.
5, and you make like 330 something odd after
Oh
taxes.
no, it would be higher. So
Higher.
about so the cash payout, if you do it more like the one time payment as opposed to the annual setup for 30 years or whatever to be paid out the full prize value, um, it would be you'd get about half of it. I'm pretty sure. So that's about like 600 million, and then you got to figure in that they'll take about 10, 15, 20%, if not 25% at the most out of that in taxes. So you are probably looking at another 100 million coming out. So it would probably be safe estimate anywhere between 450 $475 million if you do the cash payout at the end of the day, which is, I mean, still nothing to sniff at.
Yeah.
But Like that's life altering kind of money right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you do play, may the odds ever be in your favor. And if I'm able to upgrade my setup anytime soon, I'm not going to tell you why, but that might be a hint. So
I'll be super butthurt if my coworkers win and I didn't get in on it.
yes, yeah, that happens from time to time, and then it's like,
Yeah,
no, I was just kidding. That's
maybe.
why, even if you throw in like $2,
Yeah,
if they win, you'll get a smaller share, but you'll still get part of
cut
that.
is a cut.
A cut is a cut, right?
Cut
So
in that amount of money anyway.
yeah, oh yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to briefly mention here in BJ's Best, Drew, have you ever been in a position where you had somebody cutting your lawn instead of you cutting your lawn for you? I was going to say, I know you have lived in apartments, so this is probably not applicable, but I know you had you were in a house growing up, and maybe you were the one that was designated to mow the lawn.
We all had our fair shares of mowing the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of it. My mom liked to too. Sometimes, I mean, I'd wake up and she's out there mowing already. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well,
yeah,
I was gonna say it could be worse. I will tell you, if you do it yourself, you probably won't have to worry about what this woman had to worry about. So she had a
um,
neighbor. I'll get it out. I'll get it out. She had a new neighbor, come in and start mowing her own lawn at 8 a.m. one morning. So he wasn't mowing his lawn; he was mowing hers. And then he had the gall to give her a bill for his services. He wanted her to pay him £43. This is over in the UK. £43 for him mowing her lawn without her asking or entering a negotiation to pay him to do it for her.
well, let me ask you, how disgusting was her lawn? Was it like a tree forest? And he was
I
like, "This is unruly."
I'm not seeing anything in terms of the length of the grass in her yard
Okay,
in this article.
I'll keep listening.
It just says her neighbor moved into her street about 6 months ago, has been nothing but trouble since he arrived, despite not even meeting them properly. Wakes her up after like 4 a.m. working with power tools as he works on his projects before heading off to work for the day. And then he started mowing her garden without her permission and then sent her the bill. So it says, I look out the front and see my neighbor on his ride-on doing our front lawn. As I notice he finishes and goes back next door, I mentioned it to my husband, and we're both feeling pretty awkward about it, as we haven't formally met him. And then he's randomly mowing our lawn. Is he being nice? What is this? After returning home from a party at the middle of the day, she saw a slip of paper had been pushed underneath her front door. She had it under the door is a bill for lawn mowing. The cheeky sod, I love British dialect. The cheeky sod was asking for $55, which is £43, for 30 minutes on his ride-on that we did not ask for. So she said, I took the bill to their house and handed it to his wife, explaining we weren't paying as we never asked them to mow and were extremely confused by the situation. She honestly didn't even look shocked at what her husband had done. She said she'll give it back to him, and that was that. So maybe it's a scam. Maybe it's somebody that thought that there was a non-verbal agreement to mow the lawn, and there was none whatsoever. But
I say what I said earlier because I've known somebody that has gone and mowed a yard because it was so disgusting. Like they let the grass get too tall. It was the only one in the neighborhood that was unruly, so somebody just went over there.
yeah, and that
mowed it.
makes
We're like,
and that
don't worry
makes
about it.
sense. Yeah, and that makes sense. And I mean, in that situation, yes, I can understand wanting compensation for it, especially because I mean you're working hard, but at the end of the day, unless you come to some kind of agreement, and you either need verbal agreement or written agreement of some sort, or if you want to be compensated for doing that. Otherwise, it's just a nice neighborly gesture in my book.
At that point, like, yeah, I waited too long to mow this yard, but thanks for mowing it. Bye, buddy.
And don't do any work for free. This is a word of advice: don't do any work for free.
Do not.
Don't mow lawns for free. You know, if you're a kid looking for a quick summer paycheck or whatever, you
Lemonade
know,
stand.
just well,
I've seen a
I
lot
was
of
gonna
those
say,
actually before I left
uh,
Texas.
I was gonna say lemonade stand is good, but
I've
you know,
even
if you're
seen one
gonna
here.
if you want to mow lawns, just get
Yeah,
permission.
yeah. I've actually even seen one here. Oddly enough.
I haven't seen a lemonade stand in a long time, actually.
Yeah, you're in a bit bigger. You're a little bit bigger city.
Yeah, I am. So, but that's BJ's best, Drew. You
Mm.
know, don't ask or don't mow people's lawns without permission.
Don't do a lot of stuff
Don't do a lot of
on
stuff
people's
without permission.
property without permission. You know, people get
You
a little crazy.
you might find yourself with unintended consequences you don't want. That's just a safety thing, you know.
Exactly.